Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? With your host, the unapologetic diva, Dr. G, the girlfriend therapist, Dr. Cortina Lewis, and the networking extraordinaire, Diana Richardson Philippus. Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? This is Herspiration Happy Hour. And happy Wednesday, and welcome to another episode of Herspiration Happy Hour. This is your unapologetic diva, Dr. G.
This is Dr. Cortina Lewis, aka the girlfriend therapist.
And the other ladies are busy today. Diana might join us, but we're here. So as we always start, before we get to our drink for today, we always start with it's a winning Wednesday. So what can we celebrate for you today?
Well, we'll be traveling and going to relax on the beach somewhere this weekend. That's a win.
You know what? My win, I think, for today is that I am almost packed. I have everything out. It's just not in a suitcase. And I don't know what it is, but I have just not been able to get myself together for any trip. It's like a few days before or the day before I'm leaving, I am finalizing packing. So I will be done packing today because everything is laid out. And I ran errands today and got everything else done. So I have nothing else to do. Hair done, nails done. I have my eyebrows done, pedicure, everything.
I haven't even started. I was just gone last week, and then I was gone this weekend out of town. And so work is work. So I don't have time to do so. Our flight leaves at 5 a.m. on Friday. So I got to put something together. And so there's not many things on the itinerary that we need to dress up for, maybe just one thing. So I'm just going to throw some stuff in there, and that's just going to be
it. So I did 4 nighttime outfits and 4 daytime outfits. Even if I don't wear them all, I have them available and I can mix what I want. It's going to be mostly pools for me. I'm tired, maybe an excursion. But that's what I said. You know what? Let me have a couple of daytime just in case we go out and about. But for the most part, it would be a swimsuit. I would be in by a pool.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a win. So what are we drinking on today?
Well, we are drinking on today. I'm going to call it From Stuck to Flow. And so this is going to be 1/5 ounce of gin. I had to bring it back this time because we haven't had it in a while. 0.5 ounces of elderflower liqueur, 0.75 ounces of freshly squeezed lemon juice, 0.5 ounces of honey syrup, and some sparkling water, some fresh rosemary or mint, and some ice. So the way that you're going to be creating this cocktail is in a shaker, you're going to pour in your gin, your elderflower liqueur, your lemon juice, and then your honey. You're going to add ice and you're going to shake it. You're going to strain this into a glass with fresh ice and top with sparkling water. Now, I would say you can get different types. They have different flavored sparkling waters. My go-to sparkling water is either Perrier or Polar. You can top it with the blackberry mango Polar and then garnish it with rosemary or mint. And so when you are thinking about this and taking the first sip of this very refreshing drink, where you were feeling heavy, you're going to go from feeling stuck to unstuck. So from stuck to flow. And you're going to think about that I'm allowed to be in process. Like I can be going through things. I can be growing. I can be doing all these things. And in this moment right now where I'm having this drink, it doesn't have to be very loud. I can just begin moving forward in whatever direction that I want to go in. And as you're moving forward in the direction that you want to go to, you're going to be sipping slowly and just thinking about how bright your future can be.
I love that. And you know what? I just noticed my typo in survival mode. I got survival mode. I'm going to have to fix that.
Well, survival. Hey, that's what we're doing.
Look, oh my gosh. Talking about, and I know they always talk about hustle culture and all of those things, but over the past few months, especially this year, I have just been relaxing. I feel like I'm coming out of that. I don't know. I won't say survival mode, but I do know what that survival mode feels like and looks like. And because I've been there, and I just wanted to have a conversation to just have that talk about, is it become the norm? Has hustle culture become the norm? Or is it just most people's reality because of the economy?
So I think I have different views on that, right? I think part of it is because everything has become so quick and easy, hustle and bustle,
Mm-hmm.
that it's a part of the current culture in society. Like you got to hustle, you got to get it, you got to grind, you have to work your way up, even if you're not necessarily in urban culture, but the
Mm-hmm.
culture of, climbing the corporate ladder. I got to do all these things, check off all these boxes, get all these internships, like network and do all the things so I can make the connections. And then I also think it depends on where you're located, because I don't think people in the Midwest are probably hustling as hard as individuals in LA or Miami or Orlando or DC. Now, I'm not saying people in the Midwest states are not. So I want everybody to get on here and think I'm disparaging them or talking down on them. That's not what I'm doing. But I think sometimes it's also about what you're exposed to and what you're around. That's how you
Mm-hmm.
visit different places and they're like, oh my God, just slow down, just relax. Or sometimes people, they go to a restaurant that might be in the backwoods of South Carolina and are like, oh my God, the service is so slow. What is happening? They're not in a rush like you. They're not trying to
Mm-hmm.
get in and get out. They're trying to enjoy slowing things down. And I think that we can learn something from that, being able to slow down, because that's how you really also, if you are trying to, hustle and bustle and do these different things, it allows you to enjoy what you've gained. Because oftentimes when we're so stuck in the hustle and bustle, we forget to actually celebrate what we've accomplished. We work so hard to get here, get
Yeah.
here, get here. And then we get there, we're like, oh, on to the next thing. And it's like, you worked so hard to get here. You didn't even appreciate or value or give yourself accolades or claps and say, oh my God, I did it. To just sit in it on that level that you achieve, to just sit in that success for that moment, because you're so busy being off to the next thing that you got to do.
I think
So,
people, I would also say that people may not realize they are in it.
mm-hmm.
Like you're saying, people are just doing, and doing, and they're not slowing down to celebrate, to recognize, they're not pausing. And is it, I just feel like sometimes we don't really know until we do decide to slow down. And I remember there was a time I used to feel guilty about taking vacation. So I
Mm-hmm.
might go for a weekend and add a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started accumulating so much vacation time. And something hit and just said, you know what? I'm going to take a week. That was the best thing I had ever done because I got to really slow down. And then I took 2 weeks, and now I can take 3 weeks to a month off without without feeling the guilt or not feeling like something's going to fall apart, because I realized that what falls apart can be corrected, can be put back together. It might take a hit somewhere, but I also had to realize that if I drop dead, guess what? The same shit is going to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
people are going to have to figure things out. So I even when I started working for myself, I learned, let me go really hard, and then I would take the month of December off. Or I would not see clients, and I'll just use that time to turn over everything for the first 2 weeks. But it was mandatory that I had to take at least 2 weeks off before I started running again. And it helped me feel extremely, it put me in a better place. It helped me reset. It helped me gain perspectives on things that I wanted to do. I got off of that hamster wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it took me to stand still to realize, wow, I was doing this all the time, all the time. And I wasn't celebrating the things that, even the small things, the small
Mm-hmm.
accomplishments that I was making. I never really got to celebrate those until I started pausing. and giving myself a reason to look back and say, geez, I've accomplished a lot.
I think I see that in a lot of the women that I see because
Mm-hmm.
they've been expected for so long to overperform that even
Mm.
things that look like, oh my God, you did that, they minimize it as if
Mm-hmm.
it's not something, oh, I don't need, I'm supposed to do that, right? I don't need to celebrate that because that's just what I'm expected to do. And it's like, I'm just gonna make up something. You just created a program and got awarded $1 million for this program that you created. Well, that's what I do. That's my job. How many other people can say that they were able to do that? And so I also think it's a mindset thing. And I, based on my experience, I see it more frequently in Black women where,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it also ties to where they have this notion of if I'm not busy, I'm not productive. If I'm not productive, I'm not worthy because my
Mm-hmm.
worth is built on how much I produce, what I'm
Not
doing.
just that, not just their worth, their identity is
Yeah,
tied to
their
whatever it is
titles
that they are doing.
sometimes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so being able to break away from that mindset so you can, you know, celebrate yourself. I had one client and she shared with me, she was like, it was just always an expectation. Like, if I got I never got celebrated. It was always like, that's what you're supposed to do. And this is not
Mm-hmm.
just one. I'm going to say a client, but this represents about 10 clients who have
Yeah.
verbalized this. That's not something to celebrate. Getting an A because that's what I was supposed to do. So, or getting a B, now I'm in trouble. So it's either
Mm-hmm.
you're not deserving of being celebrated because that's what you're supposed to do, or I'm being reprimanded and told how I'm not doing enough because I didn't get the A. So in that, there was never any time they weren't learned, or they didn't learn and they weren't taught how to celebrate things, regardless of if this is the expectation. It can be the expectation and we celebrate it when it happens. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't learn to celebrate even these amazing things, why would I even celebrate something small that's not worthy of being celebrated? Like, that's minor.
Mm-hmm.
A's are easy. And it's just like, oh my gosh, how that shows up in adulthood for some people. And they don't even know how to celebrate themselves. So they pile all this stuff on. And it's almost like, I'm just surviving. I'm not enjoying life. I'm not enjoying the
Yeah.
thing. Honest, yeah, like, yeah, okay, good. That's good. And then for some people, because they're in survival mode for so long, getting praise feels uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that. No, it was nothing. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So now you're minimizing, not even just not celebrating. Now you're minimizing other people trying to,
Yeah.
talk about and esteem you as it relates to the accolades that you've performed and that you've achieved. And it's just like, oh, that's uncomfortable for me. It's uncomfortable because you're not used to hearing it. And so
Yeah.
we have to change the narrative in our mind so that we are more accepting and are able to say thank you, period, not thank you. Oh, that's nothing. It's
Yes.
almost like with
Yeah.
compliments, right? Some people, they have a very hard time accepting compliments from people. Like, oh, I like your dress. You feel obligated to have to tell the other person, oh, I like your eye. Like, I have to give you back a compliment because you gave
Yeah.
me.
Yes. Yes. I had to unlearn that.
Mhm.
I literally had to unlearn that, and I'm very cognizant of it when people do pay me compliments or send me a little message. In my mind, I automatically want to give praise back, and I've had to learn that sometimes it's not necessary just to take the praise
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
compliment or the feedback or just really anything that said, because I think we have the tendency to explain. We also have the
Ooh.
tendency to over explain for no
Mhm.
reason at all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's almost like, because if I have to call off, I got to give you a whole dissertation on why I have to do this. I just can't be like, I'm not coming in today. Because if you got
Yeah.
time, you don't have to explain anything to anybody, right? But
Yeah.
we feel this need to prove to you that I'm not doing something nefarious or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Oh. Is that me freezing or was it?
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if that was you or me.
I think it was me.
Okay.
My husband is changing the access points, whatever that is. Um, oh, he's doing something. Not right now. He did it earlier. And so I don't know if that was it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you were able to hear from me, but not just having to over explain yourself because you feel like it's necessary for people to believe you in what it is
Mm-hmm.
that you're doing. Just say it. I'm taking PTO, period. I have it, approve it. Thank you very much. But it's hard for some people to do that. I think it's easier, a little bit easier now with the newer generation because they
Mm-hmm.
just have this ideal of entitlement anyway. They don't give a damn. Even if they don't got the time, they're going to take the days off anyway. I mean, I think we went from one extreme to the other, but I think a healthy balance is good, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
slacking off, still being able to perform and do, and this is in any area of your life, but
Mm-hmm.
not overworking yourself so much physically and emotionally that I'm just existing. I'm not even living. I'm barely surviving. I'm just existing and life is default every day. When
Mm-hmm.
you and everybody who's listening, I want for you to ask yourself, if I were to die today and I reflected and looked over my life up until today, what would I be able to say about the life that I lived? From birth to present, was it like, oh, I grew up poor and then I made a life for myself, I was able to say I was happy? Because we don't know when we're going to die. And so if we're working just to save, and you've never been on a trip, never done anything, because you're just like, I gotta work, well, heaven
Yeah.
forbid something happens to you. Now you've worked all your time, never enjoyed life, and they're just going to replace you before your body even gets in the ground.
But people even say, I'm going to wait till I retire to do this.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who don't get to see retirement, to enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's probably why I travel a lot. I'm just like, I'm not going to wait till I retire. I might not ever retire. I don't know. I just know that as long as I love what I do
Mm-hmm.
and I have balance in that, I'm going to be fine. But I've been that workaholic. I've been that person 18-hour days, 16-hour days for years. And that wasn't even working for me. It was I always made myself available. And at some point, you just have to realize I deserve my time too, because there are other people who are fine going home, doing their 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, whatever they work. And they go the hell home, they turn their phones off, and they know how to disconnect. And while when you're climbing, sometimes you are told, it's better to be available. Always make yourself available because it makes you appear to be a better employee.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're always turned on. And so now I don't feel like I want to always be turned on. I'm not always going to. I see emails come and after 3 p.m. I said, I'm not, I'll answer those tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Because if my day ends at 3 o'clock, I want to be able to enjoy the rest of my day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I had to unlearn, the unhealthy behavior of always being on, and learn what it looks like for me to turn things off. And because you can turn stuff off and still be doing. And that's why I look at self-care in a very different light. Self-care is like really, it could be me on the couch eating ice cream.
Okay.
That could be my self-care time. So I don't want to associate with me having to run errands and do stuff as my self-care time. That's my time, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not my self-care time. That's me being a responsible adult and making sure that my house is taken care of. But I still put time in to take care of me. Now, while I like to cook, and that's also my personal time, the preparation of it is my personal time. That's that because it brings me joy. It's not the cooking itself. It is the preparation of just being able to create different sauces and seasonings and all of those different things when I'm preparing food. Now I
Okay.
know I have to eat to take care of myself, but that's very different. I sometimes just cook because it's like a mental therapy for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that it's important for everybody to find something that brings them joy, and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't even have to cost a lot of money, because when we're talking about feeling stuck and being in survival mode,
Mm-hmm.
more often than not, you're not really doing anything that brings you joy. If you were to ask people, okay, think about the things that bring you joy, because I ask my clients this, they're like, a lot of people have a hard time answering that because their life is so on default. I do the same thing every day. Wake up, get dressed, drop the kids off, go to work, pick them up, come home, cook dinner, go to sleep, go ahead, do the same thing again and again and again. When was the last time you did something that made your heart smile? How
Mm-hmm.
do we break up being in survival mode? How do we break up, being in this mindset of struggle? And some people would say, well, I just don't have the money to do it. It doesn't cost for you to find something that makes your heart smile. It can be as simple as going for a walk, looking at the lake. Those things are free. Having a picnic, finding those things. But first, you got to take time to think about what are some of the things that maybe when I was younger that made me just, oh my gosh, laugh. When was the last time you had like a big, hearty, deep laugh? Because sometimes we get away from that because we're so stuck in everything that we're doing. Life is so serious. We can't remember the last time we laughed.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And I think the other question we have to ask ourselves is, are we in survival mode or stuck in survival mode because we have to be? Or is it because we don't know how to stop?
Mm.
Because we don't know we don't know how to address discomfort. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times stopping makes you have to deal with reality.
Yeah.
It makes you have to deal with you. So there could be some fear that would say to you, well, what happens if I stopped and I don't do anything? Because how do you value yourself at that point? And I think
Mm-hmm.
so some people choose not to stop or don't recognize that they don't, because slowing down means dealing with the things that they could be running from. It could
Right.
be a fear of not having enough money because they didn't have money at a certain point in their life. And so they're going to just keep hustling and hustling and hustling. Or they're just saying, you know what, I like nice things. And so I'm going to continue to hustle and be in this mode where I'm continuing to almost cause some kind of harm, because the more you do, you do affect your body some way, shape, or form, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
stress or tearing your body down physically, not taking care of yourself mentally. And there's always an associated cost that you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to stop, like I said, a lot of times it could be a fear. Somebody might think I'm lazy. Somebody might think I'm not doing enough. If you live in a house where you are living with an ambitious person, or there is competition, because there is competition in some relationships. It's, how would I be viewed if I did not do, if I stopped doing? Because now, if I stop doing, am I still contributing? And so people have those types of thoughts that are not necessarily realistic. And I think it, like you said, it depends on it's a case by case, but taking the pause to actually look at that helps you evaluate where you are, whether you are in struggle mode, whether you're in hustle mode, but how do you come out of either one or both?
Mm-hmm. I mean, and some people they don't know anything different. So I think they become paralyzed and stuck in that mode because they don't know anything else.
Mm.
And I don't know. I know what this chaos feels like. It doesn't feel good, but I know what it feels like. And so I'm comfortable here to stay on this side of the fence versus learning how to move myself from a place of struggle.
Okay, so I have a question for you, because you're a lot like me. I consider myself an overachiever, and I had been for a long for a long time. So how do you, or at what point did you feel like, you know what, I'm doing too much?
I think that goes back and forth for me. I think there are times when I can be like, okay, I'm doing too much. And this is multi-layered because sometimes I have to do too much because like this week and next week I'm in an audit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really don't want to be doing it, but I don't have no choice. So I feel like I'm stretched with all the responsibilities that I have and all of this traveling. March is just, I just want to throw March away because it's so much for me. So I do feel overwhelmed, but I don't have a
Mm-hmm.
choice. But then when it's self-imposed overwhelming, that's when I have to tell myself, okay, do you really have to be doing all these things? And if not, what can you put down? And sometimes it's very hard to put things down because you want to really see them succeed. You want to do these things, but it's not beneficial to my well-being. So sometimes I have to have very hard conversations about that don't mean you can't pick it up next month, but for right now, you can't do it. You
Yeah.
it what is the point to drive yourself and to being crazy when I know I have, health challenges. So that's something that I have to be cognizant of. But sometimes it's very hard, to be very honest. It's hard sometimes. It's hard to put things down because I want to be able to do everything at one time, but that's not sustainable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm like you. I think there's varying times where I'm busy, and then there's varying times where I just don't feel like doing anything. And there are things that I feel like, gosh, you really need to be working on this. And this is where I've had to learn to give myself grace and remember or remind myself what I have accomplished, and that
Mm-hmm.
I don't owe anyone anything more than I owe myself.
Right.
And so for me, if I feel like I don't want to do something, I have now mentally accepted to allow myself grace to say, don't do it. Because to
Mm-hmm.
me, if I continue to push myself, I don't feel like what the outcome would be favorable for what I was envisioning. Because I'm a creative, and as a writer, it's almost like having writer's block. Now, very seldom do
Yeah.
I get writer's block, but I do get blocked for other things that I want to do. For example, I hate social media, so I've not really been on social media lately. And then I can tell you it's been extremely rewarding for me to take this step back because I've been living in the moments, not
Oh,
online, not
okay.
feeling like I have to be intentional because to work an algorithm or be driven, because I realize that it becomes very addictive wanting to post consistently, wanting to do something consistently, but it's never been my bread and butter. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
had to realize.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
if I don't want to post, I don't have to post. Yes, I have business stuff. Now there's stuff, I have a social media team for other accounts, but my personal brand, I just feel like if I want to get on there, I want to show up authentic, because
Yeah.
that's just who I am. And I feel like forced for me is not authentic. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to show up with fake joy being because I have to post online when
Right.
but I'm joyful in real life. And because I'm just like, oh, I'm just living I'm doing what I want to do. And so I got out of that struggle and hustle for social media, and I just learned to be present. So I don't feel the need to take a whole lot of photos. And even when I have, they've not been posted. You know, I just haven't felt like it. And I'm okay
Okay.
with that. Because like I
Okay.
said, it's not been something that, for people who, now I would say this, if that was my bread and butter and how I made my money, I might feel differently.
Yeah,
But
but that's
because
not
but
in your
because
bid.
it's
Yeah.
not paying my bills. And I don't need friends that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't need criticism from people who do not know me, who are not in my personal circle. I
Right.
just don't. Do I want them to show up for signings and all of that? Oh, I certainly do. Do I want to interact with them? I certainly do. I'm responsive in my DMs, but seeing me and posting and all of that other stuff, I did not realize how exhausting it was. I did the full 31 days of December. And I said, I know it's achievable, but the amount of work that it took for every
Mm,
single post, I had to evaluate if an algorithm was worth that kind of time. And
okay.
to me, it was not.
Well,
Not for me to be able to show up in a different way and do other things that I found joy in.
and I also think that those are some things that could ebb and flow, right? Because you were in the
Hmm.
season where you were doing it, and then now you're in the season where it's like, yeah, I'm not.
I did it for
I
my
don't need to do
sister.
it right now.
I did it for my sister. My sister gave me the advent calendar to challenge me. And I said, oh, okay, challenge accepted.
Okay.
But it let me know that it can be done because I had never done that before.
Mm-hmm,
So it
mm-hmm,
lets me know what I'm capable of. And I'm talking creating every single video. So I know what I am capable of. The problem is what you sacrifice having to do that.
mm-hmm,
Stopping
mm-hmm.
time. I mean, and each post, and I can't speak for anybody else, but each post that I am creating video content for, that's a minute. I'm doing 3 or 4 minutes of shooting that I'm then having to narrow down into a minute to a minute and a half. And
Mm-hmm.
that takes work. So no matter what platform is being used, it's still the same thing. I'm having to write out certain things for my post at the same time. And so I'm very personable when I write things. I like to write genuinely how I feel about things. So while people can say, well, that's what AI is for and they can do all of this, that wouldn't be me showing up authentic. And so I'd rather not. I'd rather
Okay.
enjoy the time. And that's okay, but that's me. But like I said, I realized that how much some people, even myself, was just holding on to social media, wanting to post.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's not really living because I don't know
Right.
these people and these people don't know me. And sometimes people be on social media having full blown conversations that are negative with people who don't even know them.
Don't even know them. We'll never know them. It's just like, what are we doing?
Yes. But if what I can guarantee is if you disconnect from social media for 30 days, you will find out a whole lot about yourself because now you can take that same time and turn it inward and figure out another level of joy. Plus, I mean, for some people who are out here hustling and struggling, and instead of fixing them, they're on social media attacking people. Like, if you don't find some business,
Why are we attacking people? Why?
yeah.
Why? What is the reason? But that's why I think it's good to have. So, for example, I'm not the most electronic.
Technical,
I
technical
don't I
person.
don't I don't text a lot. I don't talk on the phone a lot. I just don't. Um, but I think that's why it's good to have girlfriends. Like, for example, we're getting ready to go on a trip to kind of break that up because there are times, even though I'm not really like that, if I be like, I need a girls' weekend, like, oh, she must be really needing something because I'm not that type of person. And so being
Yeah.
able to feel like, oh Lord, okay, I'm just in survival mode. I need the
Yeah.
struggling. Being able to advocate for yourself and use your voice to connect with those people and communicate where you are
Hmm.
with the people that can help you feel better. Because when I'm around my girlfriends, I feel great. I feel good. I enjoy them. We can
Yeah.
laugh, we can cry, we can joke, we can do all of the things. You feel like there's no judgment. And I believe that that is good to have and necessary. But imagine if you don't have that.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. You live on that hamster wheel. You live on a hamster wheel because your gratification often comes from work and not your personal
Right,
life.
right.
See, that's why I love I would just say our girl tribe, but our family tribes,
Mm-hmm.
because we do a lot as a family together.
Yeah, yeah. Our
And
husbands have their own group chat, separate,
yes,
and
but
yeah,
I love that. And I love how we ensure that we celebrate a lot of different things together, and we have been for years. So
yeah,
that has been one of the factors that has taught me how to really slow down a lot and just enjoy. Now, I've always showed up for my friends. I've definitely always done that, but to be able to show up not just for my friends, but their families, their spouses, and just that is something that's very rare. That's, I say rare because I had not seen that until I was much older and into adulthood. But if this is something that I could have had in my 20s, I know that some of the decisions that I made would have been
would have been
very
different.
different. Would have been
Mm-hmm.
very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about it on here before, about at different points in your life when you need different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's very true. And I would say I'm in a new season of my life. I don't know if turning 50 is like a new season. I still feel like the same. I still feel the same, like nothing's really changed.
mm-hmm.
Um, because I think I had come into where I'm at years before. I think when I made the decision to divorce and find my voice and all of those things over the course of years, I feel like I've been able to refine who I am in terms of defining the things that I like, and I don't compromise those things. And I don't compromise those things definitely for someone else's comfort if it's
Yeah,
going to make me uncomfortable. And
yeah,
again, these are things that had to be unlearned to learn myself.
yeah,
And so that's why I feel like coming out of struggle, and struggle can be defined in many different ways. Hustle can look different for different people, but struggle can be heavily, to me, I feel like struggle is more mental than physical.
physical. Mm-hmm.
I feel like struggle is far more because I think mentally I was struggling with a lot more. So I said, you know what, let me do other things, and ignored that. So I overcompensated with work and education
Okay.
because it was easier to do that than struggle with the things that I had to address within myself. And that was a struggle for me.
Okay.
I also don't like the term hustle. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, hustle just seems kind of like, I think about gangster, like
Well, no,
gangs and on the street, and I'm hustling, like that hustle mentality. Sometimes, depending on how it's said, it can give you kind of scammy. Like they trying to
yeah.
hustle me out my money. Like you hustling your time away. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't feel purposeful. So I don't want
yeah.
to. When somebody said to me, "Oh, girl, you know how to hustle?" Absolutely not. I know how to operate in my purpose. It might look like hustling, but I'm actually doing what I love to do, not because I have to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a huge difference. So for me, I just don't like the hustle mentality because, like you said, it feels very like there's no joy in hustling. There's
Uh,
no unless you absolutely, if you're on the streets and you know what, look, I gotta hustle because I want to make sure I make enough and get so I can have a hotel room for the night, or I hustle during the day so that I can feed myself. Now that's a
yeah.
hustle. But otherwise, if you are working and it is legitimate, and because you work hard does not necessarily equate to hustling.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Lord knows to eat these days, everybody about the damn struggle. The cost of these damn groceries. I'm like, God damn.
Groceries. We talking about gas.
Oh, I haven't pumped gas since last year,
Oh
August.
well.
I know. So my friend was posted, she's out in California, and she posted that she just paid $90. I was like, what? She said, I know, right? And all I have is a Lexus. I was like, girl, I cannot. I would walk. I'd be walking everywhere. Let me get on public transportation because something's gotta be cheaper. Or I just wouldn't go anywhere.
No.
I wouldn't go anywhere because I ain't no way. Ain't no $90. Now, there's been times where I did when I had my BMW, I paid $85 before to pump
Okay.
gas. That's when gas was like $5, almost $6 at that one time. And I was
Yeah.
like, never
It's
again.
about to go
Mm-mm.
again.
And I thought gas had dropped. I remember, what was this?
Well, it
Not
went
long
back
ago,
up.
gas was just, well, see, I
Well,
haven't been
you
to a
don't
gas station.
be, you don't have to,
I plug my car in at home now, and sometimes
yeah.
I might go to a supercharge, but I just plug my car in at home. I probably, I'll see it eventually, but it still wouldn't be that much. Because even when I do charge my car, it might cost me $12, $24 to
Mm-hmm.
fill up or to charge. But I can't do it. But it's getting out here to where struggle is becoming, it's mental. It's wondering how you're going to support yourself
Mm-hmm.
or your family. Yeah. Because I went
Yeah.
to the grocery store and I was like, why did my bill go up double?
Because that's where we are. And people who have not been able, who have just been in survival mode, guess what? I feel like part of this is just going to push them to be even in even more survival mode.
But then
Because I
how do you
really gotta
come?
feel like I gotta hustle and bustle to make these ends meet.
But then how do you get out of that?
Like I said earlier, I think it's a mindset shift. You have to be able to say, okay, life is not about hustling. Life is not
Mm-hmm.
about just being on repeat every day,
Mm-hmm.
the same thing. What are some of the things that I can do to change the way that I'm looking at my circumstances and my situations? And for some people, it's going to be a little bit harder than others, right? When finances become the issue, when my stomach is hungry, it's going to be a little hard for me to be able to
Mm-hmm.
implement maybe some of these practices that I could do if I was fully fed and appropriately housed. Then individual, if your basic needs are not being met, nothing else is going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad. And I think a lot of people with where we are, some of their basic needs, maybe where they were just being met, some people are going to be moving into just being met to not being met.
Mm.
So how can I even look at anything past that when I don't have a house? I don't have the financial ability. I don't have electricity. I don't have food. I don't have clothes.
Yeah.
And so for those of us who do have it, how do we get to a place of appreciation where, because someone
Mm-hmm.
who was in a worse situation, they're looking at our situation like, damn, I wish I had what you had. So how can we get to a place where we're able to appreciate what we have?
Gratitude.
Absolutely. How are we
So it's
thankful?
so one of the things that I do before I go to bed at night and when I wake up in the morning, I'm in states of gratitude. So, you know, what do you call it? Visualization type
Oh
of
yeah.
meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I do visualization type of meditation. And so I have visualized and created my own gratitude garden. And I often am planting seeds in that garden because that's what I am working on. So in my garden, I have, peace, I have joy, I have, financial, I have love, I have family, I have support. It just depends on what it is. And I ensure that every day and every morning and every night, I visualize walking in this garden to give appreciation for
Mm-hmm.
all of the things that I have. And sometimes when I'll say when my cup run a little low on those times, that's when I am gardening new seeds because you're always having to replenish. And so sometimes in my garden, things pop up that should not be in there, like being pissed off, anger, hurt, whatever. I remove those things and I go to the sides that matter and I plant new seeds of joy, new seeds of hope, or new, different things that I need. So that is my visualization meditation practice. And when I say that has really turned a lot of my energy around before I go to bed and when I wake up. So I know how to charge my day, which is
Mm,
why I also switch from just like finding different things to say online, little gifts or whatever you want to call it. And I switched over to providing prayer. So I send prayers every morning because of that. And so many people say, girl, I needed that. That was what I was praying for as confirmation. And oftentimes I'm like, I'm up writing in the morning after I am meditating. And so depending on where I end up in my garden, that's what I choose to like send prayers about.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm kind of
yeah,
there because I am in heavy prayer and meditation. So, but that's been something that has been working for me. And I think that's why I've not felt compelled to show up on social media because I am just a walking, I'm constantly in gratitude and I am making use of different things. I am still purging in my house. I've been packing up my office, parts of it, things that I'm not really going to use because, we're relocating this year. And I didn't want to wait to the last minute. I'm like, I don't have to look at it. Let me just go ahead. And so doing that has allowed me to declutter and really get rid of stuff. I've already packed up all my winter stuff. Well, a good bit. I packed up a good bit of it. Stuff that I know I'm not going to wear right now, like heavy sweaters and whatnot. I was packing those kind of things up just to get it out the way and make room for some of my other summer stuff that I could not find stuff to do
mhm,
places for. So I've really just been doing my own thing and hanging out with Jay and just helping Nicole with scholarship stuff. And it's
mm,
really, girl, the
mm.
senior is another you already know you have went through it. So
Already went through it.
I think it's important to come out of just being sometimes like the rat race and like you said, put yourself in a place of gratitude, realize what you have accomplished even if it's small and
Mhm.
celebrate what you have accomplished. And you don't have to feel forced to do more. That's the other part. We got to do more. You got to do more. I just have to do more. Sometimes settling down for a while can reshape that energy. And so when you go to do more, you do it with a different level of joy and with a
Yeah,
peace. Yeah.
yeah. I think that's a big thing. Finding peace, right? Gratitude and being able to find peace. Because what does
Mm-hmm.
peace look like for you? Because sometimes people don't have peace, so they're searching for it, which
Mm-hmm.
sometimes looks like I'm just busy, busy, busy because I'm trying to find that next thing where I can feel like I can take a breath, but you're really not going to do it because you've never taken a breath. You just kept going, 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 going. But you're searching for something, asking yourself, what does peace look like for me? Because hustle and bustle can't be peace.
It can be, but so let me ask you this. If peace is unfamiliar to people who are on the go who's never had
Mhm.
it, how do you identify it?
Well, because you process with them. If you hear the word peace, right? Think about it in your mind. What do you think, what could that look like for you? Oh, a Buddha or whatever. People who've never had it. Be like, no, no,
Yeah.
no. Would you actually do that? No. Okay, so no. So that's not peace for you. If you had to describe what peace, when you think of the word peace, what is that? And then you just have them start to imagine and share with you, even though I've never seen it, this is what I think it might be. Okay, well, what do you need to help you get closer to that?
Mm-hmm.
So even though you've never had it, you've never seen it, this is what you think it is. Is that something that you want? Yeah, it sounds like a place that I want to be. How do we get you close to what you just described?
But see, that takes a level of people wanting to have something.
Yeah.
And so I think that is the power of therapy that
Mm-hmm.
people miss sometimes because therapy is not a you need to fix me problem.
Right.
It's like people think, oh, I'm going to a therapist because they need to fix me. No, therapy is a you fix you problem, but you get tools and you
Yeah.
can have these conversations out loud and get a little bit more structure. Um, so there's that's one way to come off that hamster wheel, is to identify why you are actually on it. Like, why are
Yeah.
you on it?
How do we
What's
get
so
here?
what's so discomforting about slowing down?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not, it took me a while. I wasn't comfortable with it at first, slowing down. And I felt like, ooh, what if I like it? Then how do I, because I know. You know how my mind is sometimes,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, and so my thing is like, oh, what if I like it? Because then what now?
Mm-hmm.
Would I
Mm-hmm.
still enjoy what I felt was purposeful to do if I slow down and stop doing it for even a moment?
Yeah.
And I don't have an answer yet, y'all, because I haven't really gone back past that. I'm at a different level of peace, and there are varying levels of peace. And this one is a new one for me, where I'm just really stepped away from a whole lot of things that I was doing before, like posting and creating and all of those things. And now I have not done it. And it's not that I don't feel like doing it. No, I've not felt like doing it. So let me say that. I've not felt like doing it, so I haven't. And I think about it, but now I think I'm more intentionally, like, when I do start to post again, what is it that I want people to know?
Mm.
How can I continue to show up as myself after being not, like, I'll share my stories and stuff and whatnot, but I don't think I've posted anything in a while.
Mm.
But and I'm always full transparency. I still show up here every week and I'm still very honest, but
Mm-hmm.
it's something about social media that's turned me off, because of the peace and the joy that I have by not having to create content,
Mm.
because of the time consumption.
Well, you know me. I was
Yeah.
trying. Oh,
Yeah,
I
but
get
it
on a
is.
good
It's a
little
lot.
streak, but I'm just like, oh,
Yeah. And mine is
I
deliberate.
don't know.
Mine is seriously deliberate. I mean,
This is too much.
yeah. And I mean, that's how much peace I've had. I've really, it's been very liberating. And the fact that I've been able to do and get through so much by shifting my focus to other things and joys that I've loved. Like I finished a whole Lean Six Sigma course, two of them already, and in my third.
Mm.
And I didn't have to take it. I just was like, you know what, I want to educate, because one, uh normally I don't feel like doing a whole lot of like self-education, because when you teach, I'm getting that anyway, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm having to read and all of that. But not having have been doing adjunct right now, it's been very different. And I'm like, I need to challenge my mind. I'm an academic person. So for me, when I do go back and teach, I like to learn new skills that I can teach as a part of my coursework. Because I do MBA courses. So uh, when I am teaching either conflict, or in negotiations or anything business wise, I want to be able to, and just say, here's something that you should consider as well. I can
Mm.
pull from different levels of experiences. And so for me, disconnecting from other things has allowed me to be more ingrained in my meditation practice, in different courses that I've been wanting to do, listening to my Spanish audio, watching Turkish television shows. Yeah, just found other little loves that I like,
Okay.
just literally just from not being online, creating content, reading
Okay.
books, something as simple as that.
Well, I enjoy reading. And the thing is, guess what? Sometimes when we're living in that survival mode, we actually also don't make time for those things that can
Hmm.
bring joy to our lives, because it's like, gotta get it, gotta do it. There's gotta be, and it's like, stop, take a,
Hmm.
do those things. Okay, now let's move on to where we need to go.
Yeah. And I think the one thing that I would say, I know, because we're getting close to the end of the hour, we have about five minutes left. I think one of the hardships with coming off of struggle mode or mentality or hustle mode is we don't always ask for help.
Mm, mm. That's a big one.
And you have to ask yourself sometimes why. I mean, and so much so is that we don't even realize the resources that are out there, financial resources, food resources. We sometimes say to ourselves, I don't want to be embarrassed because I have to go on find, any type of food assistance or anything, even if it's temporary, because of the perception of it. And I think that everybody in some way, shape, or form needs a little help
Mm-hmm.
at some point in time. We don't build the life we have without having someone that either believed in us, that pulled us along, that spoke encouragement into us, that spoke life into us. I mean, so it's in some way, shape, or form, we have to be able to not be prideful
Mm.
and ask for help.
Yep.
I
Well,
mean, I was going to say, because are there like free therapy programs and
they
stuff that's
do
out
have
there for
some.
people who, yeah. So it's about people stopping and saying, what is it that I really need and who can really help me?
And it doesn't mean that you're crazy just because you ask for help. I would say you're crazy if you don't ask for help. But asking for help, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Yeah. And I think asking for help would bring a level of peace that you will then have to learn to live in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to take some work too, unfortunately,
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form. And so I also want to say that, we, I would say some women and probably even myself, we don't leave survival mode because we feel like we're so strong. We have to be strong.
Mm.
And sometimes we stay because that's what we're used to. But
Yeah.
when you're constantly told you have to be strong, you have to do this, and that's going to make you who you are. Once you tie your identity to it, it's a lot harder to
Mm.
unlearn different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would love for us to not have to live or survive in struggle mode or hustle mode, and that we can understand that sometimes I appreciate where I'm at is where I'm supposed to be and what I am supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm.
some people aren't rich for a reason, but you're comfortable, and sometimes that's not enough for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So any last words that you want to say to our audience about survival mode?
Find your joy, right? And make time for you to from the rat race and the hustle and bustle so that you
Hmm.
can enjoy the things in life that maybe you got away from. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say. What about you?
I would say learn who you are. I think that's probably the most vital thing that I can ever say. You can live in survival mode all you want, but in that, when you learn who you are, you get to experience life a little differently
Mhm.
because you have your own personal joys. And even though you still might have to be on that rat race to get to a certain point, give yourself an ending point. If there's a stopping point, just like education, you struggle through, you're like, I cannot wait for these goddamn 4 years to be up. And then you take a break, and some people, yeah, and then some people say, okay, I've taken a break, now I'm going back and I'm going to get my master's, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
whatever that looks like. But those breaks are vital, and you get to celebrate that ending. So give yourself, no matter what you do, if you give yourself a stopping point, even if it's a stopping point to celebrate what you've achieved, you get to celebrate life and look at life differently and find peace in that and gratitude in what you already have and what you've already done. And that's something that you can impart knowledge to someone else,
Right.
because people often do what they see. And so, social media rat race is not really real.
Right.
And people look like they have a luxury life, but offline they could be struggling severely. And so what you are attempting to model is not healthy. So that's what I would say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you all for playing back. Hit that subscribe button. Go find us and follow us on our new Patreon channel. We thoroughly enjoy coming here every Wednesday. I know we would not be on next week because we will all be in travel mode at some point, or just coming back from travel. That could very well change. Just depends on people's schedule, but we have a lot going on next week. So we will be back the week after to hear all about the Costa Rica trip with all of us back. Cheers, Mom. So like I said, you'll find us here, not next week, but week after, same time and same place. We appreciate you turning in. I didn't say where they can find you, Cortina. My bad.
Oh, sorry. You can find me at The Girlfriend Therapist on all social media platforms, and at the Noir, NOIR Center, and on all social media platforms.
What's the new one?
Smile, SMILE, Facilitation Services.
Okay. And you can find me on all social media platforms at I am Dr. P. Gurley. You can also find me at the BGBB Kids Red Carpet. That will be coming up July 25th in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Network Atlanta ATL. You can also find me at the BGBB Literacy Foundation. You can donate if you would like. There's a lot of information there for the tour. So get in touch. If there's anything that you would like us to talk about, you can also follow the Herspiration Happy Hour on our social media platforms on Facebook and on Instagram. And we'd love to hear from you. So have a great rest of the week. Safe travels. If anybody is traveling, of course, all of us are going to be traveling. So have an amazing weekend coming up, and we'll see you week after next. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is Herspiration Happy Hour.